What's up guys, KG, RoughToBeBuffTV. It's been a while since I've done a full gym diary. Everything's been travel lately. I don't know what's happened to my channel. Actually, I do know what's happened to my channel. I'm pretty much doing exactly what I want to do with it, which is pretty much anything that comes to my brain. So today, I'm gonna start off with Bandbell. I got the bamboo bar. All of my clients are using it. All of my clients are really enjoying it. Today, I'm gonna be starting off with some overhead squats to kind of warm up the entire engine and taking you guys through my full workout today. So you guys are probably wondering, what's the big deal with the bamboo bar? The whole idea behind the bamboo bar is to create some form of instability. The instability is gonna force you to work on stabilizing muscle groups that you might not get with just like a dead weight. Hitting some of those smaller muscle groups that usually don't get touched on in like your regular lift. So if you're doing like a shoulder press with that band and instability, it's gonna I believe it's called like an oscillating tension. I'm not a big scientific word person, but it just causes instability, makes the exercises that much more difficult. Because I'm a big believer that when you put yourself in difficult positions and you get really, really good in those positions is where you're gonna see growth, right? So that's the whole idea behind the bamboo bar. It's only 6 pounds, and you can see how I set up here. There's multiple ways to set it up. Got a band on each end. You have to be careful if you're loading one side, because if you load one side, the bar will tip. So you got to be careful about how you load the bar. So we're looking at 26, 26, 52. We're only looking at a 58-pound load. I'm going to continue to do my overhead squats until I feel nice and warm. We're going to do some overhead presses and some overhead walks today to work really on core stabilization as well. What I found using the Bandbell while doing my overhead walks, it takes a lot of core stability just to stabilize the bar, and you guys will see that coming up here real soon. Oh, holy crap. Big reason I like starting my workouts with the overhead squat is it gets the entire system. Oh shit, I'm lightheaded. Talking and exercising is not good. I'm trying to explain myself. It gets the entire system going. Multi joints, overhead reach, my back's firing, my shoulders are firing, my knees are bending, my hips are flexing. Overhead squats we're gonna continue to do. We're gonna start walking, doing some overhead bambell walks, shoulder stability, core stability, and awesome exercises. And you don't just need a bambell to do this stuff. You can do this with a barbell, a training bar, a PVC pipe with some bands. Be creative. Starting the overhead walks now, I'm a huge fan of carrying. And what I mean by carrying is just literally carrying weight. Whether it's overhead, suitcase, a farmer carry, a high-low carry, a front rack carry, carrying. We've been carrying shit since the dawn of man. Get really good at carrying. I built a lot of my core strength through carrying. I do no crunching. I do literally no crunching, minimal crunching. I probably crunch Nestle Crunch bars, and that's about it. But carrying is a very powerful tool when it comes to building core stability and strength. So the Bandbell carry is what I got up next. Last two exercises I'm doing today, I'm gonna do some standing high rows to kind of get some scaption work done, upper back, because I've been doing a lot of like obviously vertical press, overhead reach. I'm gonna do kind of, I guess kind of like a horizontal row, because you wanna think of exercise, especially when it comes to strength training, like in movement patterns, you don't wanna overdo one movement pattern. You want everything to be as balanced as possible. I'm gonna do standing high rows with a long bar or like a lat pull down bar, and then I'm also gonna do a mixture of different types of pull-ups. So we'll do the pull-ups first, like the high energy stuff first. We'll start off with Olympic rings first. Pull-ups will be somewhere between sets of 6 to 12. As always, if you guys have been watching my videos, I rarely ever go to failure. I probably could have done maybe 5 or 6 more pull-ups, but whole idea is to save energy so every set is your best set. If you're continually working to failure, 1, you're not gonna have a good full workout, and 2, you're not giving your body the chance to really be its best every set. If you go to failure, you're really kind of, I guess, burning out all your fuel. So if you try to come back your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th set, and you're gassed from the first set, the returns are diminishing. You're not gonna see the growth or the strength or the hypertrophy that you wanna see. Something else comes to mind. This is gonna sound crazy, and I don't wanna sound like a huge gym dork. I very rarely ever count reps. Everything I do, actually I'm gonna do a vlog on this, is to exertion. Your body doesn't know how much weight it's pulling. It doesn't care how many number of reps you can do in a minute. What it does care about is if it's getting the right stimulus for growth. My thing is hypertrophy, putting muscle on. So every set you gotta go into, you gotta make sure that, am I using the right amount of load, not too heavy, not too light. Some days have to be heavy, and some days have to be light. That's if you're going for those big pump sets. And I'm talking like 30 to 45 repetitions, which should very rarely ever happen, but there is a time and place for that. But everything's based on exertion. So 10 being failure, 1 being easy, I try all my lifts to finish somewhere between a 7, 8, or a 9 on as far as how intense that exercise is. That's called RPE, rate of perceived exertion, how difficult a movement is. So especially when it comes to hypertrophy, and in some instances powerlifting or Olympic lifting, you want to scale exercises by how difficult something is. So if you pulled 500 pounds in your deadlift, and that's an RPE of 7, that means you probably could have pulled that 500 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 reps. So that's kind of how I scale, specifically just speaking for hypertrophy, are things difficult, not too hard, and not too easy. The porridge has got to be just right. Classic example was that last set I got 7 pull-ups. I probably could have mustered out like 1 more good one and 2 shitty ones, but I'm saving energy for my next set. Not completely exhausting myself, and making sure I'm getting that good mind to muscle connection. I'm a huge, you guys know it, I'm a huge user of bands. I love elastic resistance or elastic assistance. Usually what most people do with their pull-ups is they get to like this really crappy part of their pull-up routine where they can't muster up the energy to do any more pull-ups. The reason I like to use some band assistance is that's gonna help me clean up the part of the movement that I'm not able to generate on my own. So if I'm really fatigued, let's say I do a lot of like heavy deadlifts one day, and my next day is a pull-up day, and I know my back is already kind of pre-fatigued and I might not be able to get really good, clean, full pull-ups in, I'll use a band, and that's gonna help take some of my body weight away and help also clean up the back end or the top end of the movement and help me hit some of those muscle fibers that may not get hit in the movement if I were already pre-fatigued and tired. And another thing on the standing high row with a lat pull down bar, this is a really good opportunity for you to practice scapular retraction. That's bringing the shoulder blades back in together and then driving with those elbows and feeling that upper back fire, and then adding in some elbow driving, completing the movement. It's a really good way to disassociate just rowing and actually retracting the shoulder blades and then rowing. Were you taking shots? Creeping on me, Lucy. Creeping on me. Creeper. Yeah, you got a gym creep? Marry him, they're in love with you. That's all I got for you guys today. Overhead squats, overhead bamboo bandbell bar walk. Try to say that 5 times fast. A few overhead presses. We got pull-up variations, and then standing high row. Remember, your workout does not always need to be this crazy elaborate setup, even though today kind of was. But if it's necessary and the game calls for that, that's the play you got to run. I'm KG, RoughToBeBuffTV. If you learned something today, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.